These are instructions on how to add a script to a Google form that will automatically send an email to an email address in the form, like if you are creating a classroom walkthrough and you want to send the results to the teacher that you have just observed. So the first thing you want to do is go into Google Drive and open up the spreadsheet of the form that you're going to be using. Okay, so I've opened mine here. It's called Copy of J. Glenn Edward. And the first step I'm going to do is find my script. So I'm going to go to Tools, and I'm going to go to Script Gallery. And the script that I want to use is one called Form Emailer. So I'll type that in the search box and click Search. And notice it found it. So I'm going to click Install so that I can use this. And I don't think that it requires having administrative privileges for this, but if it does, you might need to get your tech contact to come in and log in to do this part of it. So I'll click Continue, and this is just giving information on what's actually going to be able to be used with using this Form Emailer script. So I'll click Accept, and I'll close the box. So now I'm ready to use it. So notice here it's added Form Emailer. So when I click on it, notice I've got to finish the install. So I click Install there. And I want it to be on sheet 1. And notice I have other choices if I had other sheets there. So I don't. So I'm going to click Install. And now it gives me some instructions. Running automatically is set to no right now. We probably want to say yes. Now here are the instructions that I'm going to go through to tell the spreadsheet, or tell the script here, how often I want to run this. So I'm going to change it to where it's going every minute. So as soon as I actually send it, it's going to send it to the teacher. Now I could change that to hour. I could also change that and do it manually, and I'll show you later on in the video how to do that manually. Okay, so the first thing it's telling me to do is to go to Tools and Script Editor. So I'll go to Tools and Script Editor. I'm going to click on my resources, and this is the current project's trigger. These are called triggers. So I'll click there, and I'm going to add a new trigger, and I want it to be time driven. I want it to actually send the email right on when I want it to, right on the time. So I'm going to change it from spreadsheet to be time driven. And notice it defaults to an hourly timer, so every hour it would search for all the observation forms that I might have filled out, and it would do that hourly. But I want this to do it minutes. And notice it's doing it every minute. So I'll click Save. Okay, so it has saved that now. So the next thing I want to do, and I'm going to close up, notice it opened up a separate little window here just for that. So I'm going to close that window, and it brings me back to my spreadsheet. And notice here at the bottom, that's just the sheet. If I click here on sheet 1, it goes back to my actual spreadsheet where all my information is going to be once I start doing observations. This is where that would be. Okay, so now I want to set up the message that I want to send in my email to the teachers that I'm observing. So I'm going to go to the Form Email, and I'm going to go to Settings. And it has a default format, and this is the information that would show up right now. These are all the fields that are in my spreadsheet. So notice it has timestamp twice there. These are the words timestamp, and this is going to pull the timestamp from the spreadsheet. This will actually print out the word grade. This will be the grade that I actually complete in that form as I'm doing the observation. So that's everything that's there, and it's going to show up in HTML format. Well, I like to just type it in myself. I want to personalize it a little. So I'm going to get rid of all that text just by highlighting it and then pressing the delete key on my keyboard. Okay, so the first thing it's asking me is the sender's name. Well, I want that to come from me, so I will type in my email address there. Okay, the to, who do I want this email to go to? So I'm going to wipe my name out, and I want it to go to the teacher's email address that's coming from the form that I've just completed while I was doing the walkthrough. So notice over here, here are the answer placeholders. This is the information. Every item right in here is actually in my spreadsheet or was on my form, and I want to be able to take that teacher's email address and put it over here. So that's what the placeholder is. So I'm going to choose teacher's email address. Notice the first row, if I'd had several maybe administrators and I had their email addresses, I could have changed that to be coming from different administrators. But here I want it to go to the teacher names. So I've got teacher's email address chosen, the answer placeholder. So I'm just going to say insert the placeholder. And notice it put teacher email address, which is what's right here. Whatever's here, when you click insert placeholder, that's what's going to show there. If I had accidentally had it on teacher name, then all I would have to do is just highlight it here, delete it, go up here and change it to teacher email address, and then insert the placeholder. Okay, the subject, if I wanted to pull it from the spreadsheet, I could choose something here. It might be, some class that I observed if I had that located there, or like the lesson plan name. But I just want, I'm going to put something here, just my own words, and I'm just going to put feedback from classroom observation. Okay, and then I'm just going to put some text in here. Okay, now down in the bottom right hand corner, this is my placeholder for any information that I'm going to put in the body here. So let's see what I have a choice of. So I'm going to put the timestamp. Here's the date and time, and I'm going to put date and time right here so I'll know what this information is. And notice I've got the timestamp there, so I'll just insert the placeholder. And it's going to plug in the automatic date and time. As soon as I clicked on new on my spreadsheet, it set up a time that I actually did that observation. Okay, so maybe I want the teacher's name here. So I'll come here, and I've got to choose it in my answers. So there's teacher, and I want it to plug it right there. So I'm going to click insert the placeholder, and there it is. Now let's see what else I have. I'm not going to use all of these today, so let's say I just want to know the technology that I observed. Now remember, I could have left all that text earlier, but I just thought it looked a little busy, so I'm just going to use this part of it. And so I will insert the placeholder. There's the technology observed. Then maybe I want to end it with some instructions. Please contact me later this week about next steps. You would plug in whatever you want to plug in. Put your name at the bottom, whatever you want to do. If you want to CC that to somebody else or blind carbon copy it, you can add that. If I click here, it's just going to add up at the top. It's going to add a BCC. Maybe. And there it is. Notice it added a CC. Okay, so I've got everything that I want, so I'm going to save this. Okay, and now let's check it out. Let's see how this works. So I'm going to go back up here and I'm going to go to my live form. So remember it had like a teacher's name, and I'll pretend I'm observing myself. And it's really important that you type the email address in correctly. You could make this list a drop down and have every one of your teachers' email addresses there, like if you had all your teachers' names there. That way you'd make sure that you didn't have anything incorrect. Now remember, the only thing that I'm going to be observing today is technology. I'm going to say this person was using laptops, smartboard, and she had a document camera. Okay, and their lesson plan was visible. So I'm going to click the submit button. And notice it says it's been recorded. And I'm going to pretend now that I'm the teacher, and I'm going to go to my mailbox, and in just a second I'm going to see that email pop up right here. Remember, it said it would do it every minute, so I may have to hesitate here just a minute for that email to show up. And I could sing a song here, or you could count all the emails. And yes, I know that I have 1,825 emails sitting in my mailbox right now. Okay, so if it doesn't automatically come, then you can actually go back out, go to your spreadsheet, go to form, go to process manually. And it did say it had sent. Notice there it does say it had an email sent. And there it is, actually showed up. So if somebody's lost that email, I could tell it, okay, send this to line 3. And it would click OK and it would send it. So I should have 2 of them in my mailbox here in just a second. So I'm going to go back to my mailbox, and there it is, feedback from classroom observation. So I open that up and notice there's everything that I plugged in. I observed the laptop, smartboards, please contact me later. It has the teacher's name, my name, there's the feedback, the actual subject that I had there. So it makes it so easy to be able just to send it, submit it, and then knowing that the email is going to go straight to the teacher right then. That's all.